Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to really get into some fascinating ideas from sources we've gathered. Today, we're looking at a book that's, well, it's touched millions. Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. Came out originally in '88, English in '93. It's, philosophical fiction, allegory, a quest, but it's short, only about 190 pages. So, our mission today, to figure out why this seemingly simple story hits so hard for so many people and what it tells us about life's journey. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here, and the review we looked at really highlights this, is how a book that concise can, carry so much universal weight. It influences how people see their own lives. Basically, it follows Santiago, this young shepherd in Andalusia. He's on a quest. Seems like it's for treasure near the pyramids in Egypt, but it quickly becomes about his personal legend. That's like the destiny everyone's supposed to fulfill.
Right, Santiago. So he's a shepherd boy, kind of representing, well, all of us maybe, the seeker. He wants adventure. He's chasing a dream, just trying to figure out what's next.
Yeah.
How does the review talk about Coelho setting him up? Does it feel relatable?
Oh, well, definitely. The review points out he's almost like a blank slate. You, the reader, can sort of project yourself onto his journey, and that journey takes him right to this core idea, the personal legend, which isn't just, a whim. It's presented as your true calling, something the universe actually conspires to help you achieve, but only if you go after it with, sincerity and courage. This big idea, it first comes from this mysterious character, Melchizedek, the king of Salem.
Okay, that idea, the universe conspiring to help you, that's pretty bold. Here's where it gets really interesting. The review mentions this shifts the power, right? From just fate to your own intentions, like this active back and forth with the world. But doesn't that sound a bit, well, mystical? Maybe unrealistic for some.
That's a fair question. And the review stresses it's not really about literal magic. It's more about developing your intuition, learning to read the omens, these subtle signs all around you. Santiago learns this through experience by actually paying attention. It's about being mindful, really, responding to what's happening now. So he gets really good at spotting these signs that guide him, which reinforces, of course, his message about, trusting your gut, having faith, connecting with the universe. That's your guidance.
Right. So as he's learning to read these omens, does his idea of the treasure change? Because it sounds like the gold becomes less important.
Exactly. That's spot on. He starts to realize the treasure isn't just gold coins. It's really about discovering himself. The journey becomes internal as much as it's external. And it's interesting, the review points out how Coelho weaves in these different spiritual threads so subtly. You get hints of Sufism that focus on inner work and divine love, and Christian parables, kind of universal truths, and even a bit of Zen simplicity. But it never feels like he's pushing one specific religion. It's more of a universal spiritual feel.
That makes sense. And challenges. The book tackles fear pretty directly, right? Fear and courage. The review we read says fear is shown as the biggest roadblock to chasing your dreams.
Absolutely. Santiago faces all sorts of fears. Fear of losing things, fear of failing, fear of change.
Yeah.
And he has to overcome them.
This raises an important question for us, reading this. How do we deal with our own obstacles when fear comes up?
Well, the book suggests the way forward is often through the fear, not around it. And the review highlights that it's not just that Santiago overcomes fear, but how each fear becomes a lesson. It reinforces that growth happens because of the challenge, not in spite of it. If we connect this to the bigger picture, Coelho keeps coming back to this idea of the unity of nature. Everything's connected, which leads back to that line, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It's about being in sync with everything, not just wanting something for yourself.
Right, being in sync. And part of that, the review mentions, is understanding the soul of the world, which Coelho presents less like a god, more like a universal language.
Yeah.
Or a consciousness connecting everything.
Exactly, like a guiding force.
And understanding that is the real alchemy, isn't it? Not turning lead into gold, but transforming your perception.
Precisely. It's about a way of living.
So how does Santiago actually learn to read this soul of the world? Is it practical?
He learns by watching, by experiencing, and crucially, by listening to his heart in the world. And he meets people who help. Key characters, each symbolic. There's the alchemist himself, obviously. He's this mystical guide pushing Santiago towards, deeper wisdom. Enlightenment, really. Interchange. Then there's Fatima. He falls in love with her. She represents a love that encourages his quest, doesn't hold him back. She gets the personal legend idea.
That's a powerful distinction.
Yeah. And then there's the Englishman. He's all about the books, the theory of alchemy, super smart, but
he lacks the intuition.
Exactly. He lacks that connection Santiago develops through experience. The review points this contrast out. Knowledge isn't just book smarts. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the settings matter too. The desert.
Yeah, the desert seems huge in the story.
It is. It represents harsh challenges, sure, but also deep truths. It's a metaphor for life, really. It's trials, it's moments of clarity.
And the treasure itself.
Well, ultimately, it symbolizes finding your true self, spiritual fulfillment. The journey is the reward, basically.
You know, one thing the review really stresses, and I think it's why so many people connect with it, is Coelho's style. It's simple language, almost lyrical. Makes it super accessible, right? For any age.
Totally accessible.
But it's packed with symbolism. It feels like a parable or a fable, full of these little moral lessons and big ideas. It's great allegorical storytelling.
It really is. And the review notes how he pulls in wisdom from everywhere. Alchemy, Sufism, Eastern thought, Bible stories. It's all in there. The big takeaway, philosophically, is that chasing your dream, your personal legend, is like a sacred duty. And real fulfillment, it comes from listening to your heart and just embracing the whole messy process of growth.
And some of those lines just stick with you, like it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting.
Classic.
Or remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Simple, but profound. So summing up the strengths, the review says, definitely inspirational, motivational, easy to read, encourages self-discovery, mindfulness, and it blends that story with spiritual ideas really well.
Yeah, it does that beautifully. But, the review also gives a balanced view, points out some limitations. For some people, it might feel a bit too simple, maybe even a little preachy. And if you're not into the mystical stuff, the heavy focus on that might not click. Plus, if you've read a lot of allegories, the plot might seem a bit, well, predictable. The focus is more on the message than, say, complex character arcs.
That's fair. The review did note some critics see it almost like self-help wrapped in fiction.
Could be seen that way.
But despite all that, the overall verdict seems clear, right? The Alchemist is a timeless spiritual classic.
No doubt.
It just keeps finding readers who are looking for meaning, for purpose, for that spark of inspiration, still resonates globally.
Absolutely. And the core message, like the review kept saying, is really that the journey is the treasure. It leads you to yourself, to fulfilling that personal legend, but only if you really listen to your heart and embrace the growth along the way.
That really is the heart of it. So after digging into The Alchemist and this review, this raises an important question for you listening. What's the treasure you're really seeking in your own life? And maybe how can you get better at listening to those omens, those little nudges from the universe guiding you? If you haven't read it, or it's been a while, we definitely encourage you to pick up The Alchemist. It's quite a journey.